I wanted to ask you again about the civilians living in Gaza. You've talked about your pushes for a humanitarian pause and that you don't support permanent, what did you call it, permanent displacement of those civilians outside of Gaza.
That's right.
Can you lay out what the U.S. position is then on protecting these civilians from these airstrikes or from other Israeli military operations, given that what the U.S. position is on protecting these people when they have nowhere else to go?
You're talking about the civilians that are moving to the south or are near the crossing? Yes. With the caveat that we are not involved militarily in this conflict, obviously we continue to urge our Israeli counterparts not to take military action, strikes, that would put innocent civilians in greater harm's way, particularly in all cases, but certainly particularly in those cases where these folks are doing exactly what they've been asked to do, which is move out of North Gaza and into South Gaza and to collect near the crossing as we continue to try to get folks out. So we've been very plain about our concerns over military action that could put those folks in greater harm's way.
Are you putting any pressure on neighboring countries to take in Palestinians fleeing Gaza temporarily? I know you said you don't support permanent displacement, but what about a temporary solution?
That's going to be up to those countries to decide whether they're, what their refugee policies are, and I'm not aware of any specific asks that we're making of other countries to take in a certain number. We understand that most people, most Palestinians, they don't want to leave. I mean, it's home, and we know that some of them are worried that if they were to leave, that they might not be able to go back in. It's not. The most pressing issue right now is the internal displacement of more than 1 million. I think it's like 1.5 million right now, and making sure that they're as safe as possible, to your first question. But I'm not aware of any specific discussions we're having with other countries about refugee resettlement.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.